Auburn once again has a new head coach. Hugh Freeze takes over after a very unimpressive stint with Brian Harsin. And first of all, one of the biggest supporters of the Hugh Freeze hire. I think he's a great offensive mind. I think he's a great recruiter. I know that his track record and his off the field concerns are a little bit different. But if we're talking about him as a head coach, he is one of the guys, one of the few people in college football that has a proven track record to turn around programs and especially to help improve the quality of SEC programs. I look at what the results he was able to produce very quickly in his time at Ole Miss. But for Auburn in 2023, I think for any fan base that typically has national championship winning teams, the expectation is to go 10-2, 11-1, to have as many big wins as possible in that first season under a new head coach. And I'm first to come here and say we need to temper our expectations for Auburn. If you're an Auburn fan, you need to be realistic for what is accomplishable in this first season under Hugh Freeze. And if we're willing to be realistic here, then the outcome at the end of the season is not going to be so bad. So first of all, we're trying to figure out this quarterback situation. You've got Robbie Ashford, TJ Finley is gone, but you brought in Peyton Thorne from Michigan State. Now, Ashford is the much better athlete than Peyton Thorne, but Peyton Thorne is a more steady, consistent football player. He can be accurate at times if things in front of him are working well. And also if the offensive line is protecting him especially, he is going to be able to perform well within structure. If things go according to plan and Hugh Freeze is able to set up Peyton Thorne for success and he wins the job, they can put up some pretty good numbers offensively, especially if the run game is clicking at an expected level that one would hope for under an offense that is led by Hugh Freeze. The big thing as well for Auburn in 2023 is that they had a massive transfer portal haul. They brought in a lot of guys like Avery Jones. They brought in Dylan Wade, Gunnar Britton, tons of big bodies for the offensive line to bolster things and build things up. Other players as well as at key positions is going to help Auburn take a next step from being a very uncompetitive, energy-lacking program to one that is putting up fights against the middle-tier SEC programs and winning games that they would have lost had Brian Harsin still been there. So with that being said, let's take a look at their 2023 schedule and let's predict how they're going to do. First off, they start the season at home against a very easily defeatable opponent, UMass, no questions there. That's a win. They travel then to go play at Cal. I know that is a long trip, but Cal, bottom feeder Pac-12 program, that should be an easy win. If you lose that game, Hugh Freeze, there's going to be some serious question marks, but they're going to win. That puts them at 2-0 after their second game of the season. They then come back with an FCS opponent, Samford, 3-0, no questions asked. I do like Samford, but again, we're being realistic here. They're going to win that football game. Texas A&M, they travel to play Texas A&M at College Station. I said this on the Ole Miss schedule breakdown. I'm going to say it again. Don't have a lot of faith for Jimbo Fisher in 2023. Give me Auburn to win this football game. This is going to be one of the first impressive wins for Auburn to set them up for a 4-0 start. Then comes one of the most difficult stretches in all of college football. They have to play at home against Georgia. They have to travel to LSU and then at home against Ole Miss again. Now, it helps that two of those games are at home, but those are going to be 3 straight losses. I don't mean to be pessimistic. I am not sitting here being unrealistic with what is capable of being done, but those are 3 better football teams than your current roster, a team that is trying to rebuild its foundation after multiple bad recruiting classes. And again, a lack of identity, a lack of passion, a lack of attention to detail by the previous coaching staff. Those are going to be hard teams to beat. That puts them at 4-3, assuming that they lose all 3 of those games. They then come back around to play Mississippi State. I think things are going to be really hard for Mississippi State this upcoming season, so give me the win there. That places them at 5-3. They take on Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. I know that things are fun to say that Clark Lee is turning this program around, but they are going to beat Vanderbilt. 6-3 is then their current record if they beat the Commodores. They travel to Arkansas after that. 2 back-to-back games on the road. This is going to be a close game, but I think that if all goes according to plan for Arkansas and everybody is fully healthy, KJ Jefferson and Raheem Sanders are on the field in this game, the Razorbacks are going to win it. 6-4 is then their record if they lose to Arkansas. New Mexico State, no questions asked, 7-4. Their last game, as we all know, the Iron Bowl at home against Alabama. I know, and I'm going to say this in probably every single schedule video that I do for this channel. While some people believe that Alabama might struggle in 2023, I don't think that is going to be the case. This upcoming season will not be the year that Auburn beats Alabama. If they're going to be competitive enough to beat Alabama, it's going to be the following season. So with a loss against Alabama in the final weeks of the year, a 7-5 record is how they're going to finish. And again, I know that Auburn fans are hoping for a big year, maybe a 9-3 record. It's possible, but if we're being realistic and we're being honest with ourselves, 7-5 is the most likely outcome for the 2023 season. If you think I'm wrong, drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button. We'll be back with more. I just want to tell you folks about an exciting new partnership that we have with this channel with Underdog Fantasy. Ever since I joined, I've been having so much fun. There are so many different exciting games that make watching games during the offseason more exciting. I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but it has made it way more entertaining since I found Underdog Fantasy. And my favorite game to play so far, which I think you should try out, is Pick'em. It is so easy to play. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Underdog keeps it simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. Pick between 2 and 5 players to fill out your Pick'em slip, get every pick right, and take home some cold, hard cash. Use code HACK, H-A-C-K, HACK, like the name of this channel. Use code HACK to get your first deposit doubled up to $100 by Underdog. Go sign up. You won't regret it. You're going to have a blast. Check out Underdog Fantasy. I also want to tell you folks about our other recurring sponsor that we have on this channel, that being BetOnline, betonline.ag, which has all the updated odds, news, and anything for sports betting. It's my go-to source for when I want to be betting specifically on games. I love betting on college basketball or the NBA. Especially, again, during the offseason, always looking for more fun ways to be focused in on some of these other sports. It's betonline.ag and use promo code BELIEVE50. It's promo code BELIEVE50 to get 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.